Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Gloria. I'm part of the events team. I'm here with David from Algorand Foundation, and we are going to give you a little bit of a Bounties preview. Before we get started, I wanted to take care of a little bit of housekeeping for you. First and foremost, this session is being recorded, so you can go ahead and take a look at this session and all of the previous recordings on the GetCoin YouTube channel, which is GetCoin Media on YouTube. And then on there, you'll see a playlist that is Greenhouse Hacks, and I'll have this session and all of the other sessions as well. So feel free to take a look at that if you need to go ahead and rewatch this video. Second of all is if you have questions, you can drop those questions in the chat or in the Q&A. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can drop it in the chat there. I will be monitoring them both. So feel free to go ahead and ask your questions in either spot. I'll make sure your questions get answered. Last but not least, you can go ahead and say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from and what you're working on. It's the best way for me to get to know all of y'all, but it's also a great way for all y'all to get to know one of each other. With that, I will go ahead and turn it over to David. And David, we can get started.
Thank you very much, Gloria. As Gloria said, this is going out on Gitcoin, and it's also on the Algorand Foundation YouTube channel. So please do recap or rewatch it there. We are excited to be bringing you the first hack in our Greenhouse Hackathon series, and it starts proper on Monday, the 18th of July. So as part of our pre-programming schedule today, we are going to look at some of the bounties, give you a preview into them. We're not going to tell you exactly what they are yet, but we will give you a nice flavor of what they are and what you can expect. So without further ado, I will share my screen. Bring that up here. All right. So I'm just going to actually share a window for a second. Apologies, because I have some notes on the other one. This one. Lovely. Okay, so the bounty preview. So the first thing we're going to touch on today is some of the criteria that the judges are going to be using to judge the projects and the submissions. So we'll start with impact and usefulness. So I suppose how impactful projects are going to be. The submission, is it going to affect the Algorand ecosystem, where it might fit in? Is there similar product out there to this, and how novel the product is? And that leads into the originality, creativity, and innovation. So yeah, your project, your submission versus previous technologies. Is there an advance on previous technologies? Are you building on the shoulders of others? Or how innovative, is there an innovative twist to your submission? Mass usability, so how feasible is the idea? Again, tying back into that, and how adaptable is it, maybe across other integrations? Will it be usable or integratable into future projects, for example? The technical difficulty, obviously, there's quite an array of bounty challenges that we're going to have, and of different levels of difficulty. So we will be judging the level of skill and knowledge required to build your submission for that particular bounty, whichever one you decide to go for. Clarity is obviously very important. So how clear or easily understood is the documentation you submit, your demo videos, and that kind of stuff. So just make sure everything is kind of laid out. So there will be a community voting element, which Gloria will touch on later on. So just so that the greater community and our judges can understand what you've built and how you've built it. Team diversity. So we deem this to be quite important. So how diverse is the team skill sets? How well are you kind of cooperating and working with others, during the team formation sessions? And we're gonna wrap this particular session up with team formation again, because we do think this is quite important. For those of you with different skill sets, to be aware of what they are and to acknowledge where somebody else might be able to come in and complement your skill sets with a view to kind of building a higher quality project ultimately, really. As well as ideation might come into play here a little bit. So, where ideas might be generated from and that kind of stuff. Okay. So I did touch on community voting. Gloria, do you want to say a couple of words about the quadratic voting?
Yeah, just so you all know, I'm not quite sure if you've ever quadratically voted before, but we do have a community voting element for this hackathon, which means that y'all will be choosing the project that you thought was, you will be ranking the projects that you think were the most impactful. So you will have a say in these projects. Quadratic voting is kind of like how GetCoin does quadratic funding, but with a voting element where the people have more of the power, and you can kind of divvy out some of your votes towards different projects throughout the hackathon when you're judging it at the end of the
so it's not just one vote, one project. You don't just pick one. So if you want to put 60% of your vote to your favorite project, but then you want to give 20% to a second and 20% to a third project, then you can do that if you think there are other worthy
correct
of the vote, right?
Correct. And so you have 99 votes. So you'll definitely have like a clear winner in your mind, but you can divvy out the votes in a different, in however way you like on that aspect of it. And the prize pool is then broken down equivalent to the votes that you've received. So anything beyond like 5% or above 5%, or if you got 5% of the quadratic votes, you get 5% of the prize pool. If you got 25% of the quadratic votes, you would get 25% of the prize pool. So that's how we do community voting here. And it's great because the projects that do have impacts towards the rest of the community, they tend to stand out very quickly, and they get part of that prize pool to show that the community really enjoys the projects as well. So you're not just making a project for the judges, but your peers also have a say on prize pools as well.
Okay, so that's a separate pool to the bounty challenge pool, just to clarify that, and it will feed back to the overall process, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Gloria. The next one. So just touch on the prize pools. An opportunistic segue, thanks. So look, we're going to have up to 25,000 algo per bounty challenge that we're going to post. Some of them will have first, second, third winners. Some of them will have first and second winners. Actually, just since we put together this presentation last night, we did come up with another more challenging bounty. So one of the pools will have at least 30,000 algo in that particular pool. And I suppose it's important to touch on here that we do expect complete submissions, so functional projects for the majority of the bounty challenges that we're posting. If you don't get to fully complete and have a fully functioning project by the end of it, or submission by the end of it, there will be some of these that will be greater in difficulty than others. So we'll be looking for the best progressed project, the kind of cleverest, the teams that have interacted well with the DevRels and with the support throughout the process. And we'll be assessing them on that basis. So there are one or two of higher degrees of difficulty that we're kind of throwing in here, maybe a curveball, but we will definitely be looking to see how a project has progressed as opposed to finality of a project, should certain teams on certain of the bounties not get there, that's for sure. So I think that's important to state. The other thing I'd like to say at this point is that there will be the opportunity for high potential projects, whether they're fully completed or not, to avail of our ecosystem funding. So that's from within the foundation, to maybe advance the project further, or to go into an accelerator to tie in with certain supports that we have within the Algorand Foundation that high potential projects and high potential teams will be able to avail of. And I think, Gloria, there's a GitCoin grants program or scheme as well, right, that the guys can potentially tap into, and they'll have the opportunity to do so if selected, right?
Yeah, so our next grants round will be in September, and there has been in the past an algo matching pool. So you can always do a grant and extend your project that way, which is always great. There's a lot of different ways to, I guess, continue your project when you think about it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's dive into the first track. So probably the not the majority, but certainly a fair chunk of the bounty challenges are going to be in the DeFi space. It is the most prevalent, certainly across blockchain. There's a lot of DeFi projects and great products being offered in that space. So I think it's a good opportunity to introduce Juan and say hello. It's good to see you, Juan. How you doing? Would you care to?
Hi, how are you guys?
DeFi bounties, please.
Yes, of course. And sorry for being a little bit late. Couldn't find the link, but better late than never, right?
Oh yeah, you're West Coast, right?
Yeah. So okay, about talking about the DeFi bounties. Obviously, we wanted to keep the hackathon as broad as possible, trying to bring as many projects as possible. Obviously, including a DeFi kind of projects. Right now in the pipeline, we have about 3 DeFi projects, and I don't wanna dig too much in detail about the bounties, so you guys can have a look at it once the hackathon starts. But the most important thing that I can share about the DeFi bounties is that companies and sponsors, what they're looking on DeFi protocols, is to have the most efficient code you can possibly build. We have seen in the past that developers try to just complete the task and not go a little bit beyond. So the cleaner the code, the better the implementation, the better the integration with platforms. That's what DeFi partners are looking for. That's what the bounties are trying to aim for. Not just complete the task, but just go beyond. Like what else can you bring? And here's when we want to tell developers, like, be as creative as possible, be as efficient as possible, since these are the kind of things, as you were mentioning before, in the judging criteria. These are the things that sponsors and coders are looking for, right? The most clean, efficient codes, the most creative ways to integrate or wallets um, into platforms. The best way to make the user experience in a DeFi protocol or a DeFi exchange, to make it as easy as possible for users to interact with.
Yeah, and I suppose we can speak to some of those partners, right? One, we know that we've got.
So for right now, we have Folks Finance has provided a bounty. AlgoFi is working on one. Tinyman is also working on one, and a couple more that we still want to keep on under until the hackathon starts.
Yeah, nice. These are established products that are out there. They're built on Algorand. They know how to build. They know how to do it well, and they're around to support during the process. So yeah, that's exciting.
And also, I just want to mention that it's important for you guys, people participating, that it's a big opportunity to have this kind of developers providing bounties to see what, like, big players in the space are working on and what they're building, and also having their resources available for you guys, for everyone to participate.
Cool. Very good. So after DeFi, then we will move on to, did I go too far? NFT and gaming. Sneak peek to the next slide there for those of you who are picking up. So yeah, look at NFT and gaming. Again, we're super excited to see what you guys are going to build on these 2 tracks. As far as gaming goes, there will be somewhat of an open-ended bounty for you guys to showcase any gaming projects that you might have in mind, to see how you might go start to build that. And this could be a great opportunity if you did have an awesome idea in mind, but maybe didn't know where to start or how to start, that you could avail of the support from the Greenhouse Hack and from our DevRels and from our project partners to figure that out, to see what the first step is so that you can get yourselves up and running. And I suppose similarly with NFTs, I think there's even one where we bridge the gap between NFTs and gaming with a little play to earn challenge and in-game utility. So you can use your imaginations there. I'll just say we're not going to pay you. we're not going to leave you use your imaginations. Sorry for too long. We have said that we're going to start posting the bounties sooner rather than later. So we're not going to wait until Monday the 18th. So
okay,
we've asked people to start bountying these now. So do keep your eye certainly over the weekend for bounties being posted. After the sneak preview, there has been some comments coming in from the community that they'd like to see the comments earlier. So we hear you. We're doing it. We'll hopefully get them up toward the end of the week and certainly over the weekend. So yeah, there's the NFT gaming kind of combined one. Were you going to say something there, Juan?
Yeah, that you mentioned it's a combination of NFT and gaming, but there's also going to be specific projects on NFT and specific projects on gaming, right?
Yeah, certainly in the NFTs, there is a gaming one, an opportunity to kind of build. With the NFT one, then, as I said, with a kind of play to earn or in-game utility slant to the NFTs, and then there are other NFT specific projects as well, for sure. So yeah, it'll be interesting first of all to see what you guys go for once these do begin to be posted, and then where you go from there. We're looking forward to seeing how you guys go. The other thing, for those of you that didn't see the sneak peek, we're putting up a no-code bounty. So that's a kind of an ideation, creative ideas bounty. So where if you're not a programmer, not a problem type of a scenario, you can kind of have a look, partake, become familiar with the process, maybe partake in that team matchmaking or team formation session. The team formation, by the way, will remain open up to and beyond the 18th. So after the hackathon has started. So this no code one, we're looking for three ecosystem ideas, three ideas that could really kind of benefit the ecosystem. There's no requirement to build, no requirement to program. But that will be one of the bounties that we're challenging to include people that don't necessarily have a programming background and aren't necessarily able to partake in terms of joining a team or whatever else to flesh out their idea and get it built. So we want to include you guys too. We want to listen to you. It's a very important part of our ecosystem. And then the BYOP, so bring your own project. Again, very similar to the no code one, but with code, I suppose, are very, very similar to all the other bounties, but with your own idea, whichever way you want to look at it. And yeah, again, we're intrigued, we're excited. We often hear some super ideas, really fabulous ideas. So we wanted to put this opportunity there for you guys who do have an idea and who do have the skill set to program and to build that out and avail of the supports to help you do that during the hackathon. So there's also, it says and more there. There's, yeah, look, as Juan alluded to earlier, there's a couple other ones we're working on. So yeah, but you guys will just have to wait to see what they are, but hopefully we'll have a surprise or two for you come Monday. All right. Anything else on bounties, Juan or Gloria?
No, just like you were mentioning. So I'm like excited to be able to be part of this hackathon, getting it started. A lot of people has put a lot of work into it, and it's been fun making all this, all these bounties. So it's exciting to see it take form.
For sure. All right. Back to Gloria, please, for the all-important team formation.
Yes. All right. So I think a lot of people asked the question regarding team formation. So I'm going to stop presenting real quick, and then I will go over like how we deal with team formation at GetCoin. All right, and specifically for this hackathon. So hold on one second while I share my screen. Hopefully we can get to meta here. Perfect. Yay. All right. So when you are going to the greenhouse hacks here on the page, on the onboarding page, you can join the Discord or you can go to the team formation section. And when you click on the team formation section, it will go to a Notion page that is going to be used for team matching and for you to view the submissions. When you go to the team matching form, you can go ahead and put in all of your details, like your name, what you're looking for, the bounty that you're trying to go after, any of your skill sets, a project idea that you have, and then something fun about you. After you've filled out that form, you can go to the greenhouse matching submissions. And what you'll see is everyone that has started to fill out the form, fill out their information, is looking for a team or wants to join an existing team. You'll find all that information there, as well as their Discord handle. And the thing about it is, if you do find someone who has something that is a similar interest as you have, you can use their Discord handle, reach out to them, and see like if they want to build something together. The other section that you can use to find a team formation is when you go to the Algorand Discord, which I will do right now. Okay, in the Algorand Discord, there is a section that is all about the greenhouse hacks. And under there, greenhouse hacks, there is a thread that is all for team formation. If not, I will find it. Hold on. I'll see if I can find it and ping that thread to you in a second. I'll do it after this hack. But there is a thread that says team formation, and it's where you can go ahead and find your teammates there and post about what you want to build, and post about what you want to build in that section as well. So that's how we do. That's how we do team formation here at Getcoin. There will be one more session probably after the 18th where you can like show your opportunities and your skill sets if you want to do that. But the best way to find a team member is through the form and seeing the submissions and reaching out via Discord, or also using it on the Discord thread that's all about team formation, which I will ping in a second too. Okay, so can you please share some more information on the team formation process? Once a team for the hackathon has agreed to participate together, how is that formalized? Okay, yeah, I can't see an option to do that as a team formation tool. So what ends up happening once you start to, once you form a team and the hackathon is live, you'll see the bounties, and on the bounties, it will say start work. I'm gonna show you, I can't show you on the Algorand one just yet, but let me show you in another hackathon. Let me pull it up. Hold on one second.
I'm just excited scrolling down through some of these questions.
Yeah.
I might start. Do you want to cut me off when you're ready? I'll just start answering a couple of these, Gloria. Is that okay?
Yes, go for it.
So yeah, there's people posting project ideas that they have, looking for people to join forces with them, which is great, which is what we want to see. So as Gloria said, do follow the links. Just to on our Discord channel, on the Algorand Foundation Discord channel, if you scroll down, I don't know whether Gloria's screen froze there, but when you go in, if you scroll down to Greenhouse, you will be able to find it there, or else fill in the form as Gloria indicated, and you will see that it's kind of nicely populated, and there are other people there, showcasing who they are, what they do, what their skill sets are, what they want. And again, they're all important Discord handle. So yeah, that's probably the best way to get in touch with other people on the hackathon. There's a question that says, what about projects that started before the start of the hack, but adding new features? So this is obviously a very difficult one to quantify. Most, even from ideation, does that qualify as starting before the hack? Or how much have you developed and what are you adding on to that? So I'd say, look, if you want to reach out kind of individually to see where that is, or the other thing is that you could certainly use the hackathon as a means, as a vehicle to get your project in front of us. You could define in your project submission where you started, what you had done pre-hack, and then you're using that as a base layer to develop these new features or these new ideas, and then that would be the accessible part in terms of the hackathon itself. But yeah, definitely a great way to get your ideas, to get your skills in front of us, to get your ideas there. And as I said earlier, there are opportunities available for high potential projects that we'll be looking to develop and bring everybody into the community, and certainly offer the support that we have available to us, to you guys as well. So yeah, if you do have something that you've started already, maybe make clear what's done pre-hackathon, and then show us why you're using that to build additional things for the hackathon, and that would be the accessible part, if that makes sense. Are you good to go, Gloria, or will I do another one?
Yep, I wanted you to finish talking so that.
Yep, I'll stop now.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll see if I can show you. Perfect. Okay, so this is just an example bounty. When you start the bounties, it will give you this option to start work. And when you start your work, you can write your project name, any type of logo, description, the repo where it's at, have a demo. You don't need your demo live in order to start work. But there is a section where you can look for people and add people to your team. So if I was going to, let's see. If I was going to add Morton, my coworker, I could add him to my team, and then I can continue on adding people to my project and then submit it. So that is how you add your team to your bounty once you actually have selected a bounty that you're going to be working on.
Awesome.
Also, I want to add that no worries if there's some things you can't find while working or participating in the hackathon. We have all the channels to answer questions. You can reach out to any of us. We're going to be in constant communication with participants to make sure the hackathon is running smoothly, that all questions are answered. So don't feel like frustrated or anything if you can't find it right now. So yeah. It's gonna be an easy communication once you start working.
Yeah, that's a great point, Juan. And maybe to touch on why we're calling it the Greenhouse Hackathon, because we, in the meaning and the true sense of the word greenhouse, we want to nurture and develop everything within the greenhouse. So we want to work with our developers. We're there for you guys. And as Juan said, there'll be a number of channels open to you for support and to get your questions answered as you go.
Yeah, and to tag on to that too, there's been a lot of information that even went out this week. I know that yesterday the learning resources session had a lot of tools that are helpful to get you started. So we're hoping that with this pre-hackathon sessions that you feel really empowered to hit the ground running on the 18th and really start taking whatever deep dives you want to take over the weekend. Take a look at some of those learning resources, take a look at some of these projects that people are proposing, and really start to do your best work.
Yeah, and if you missed that again, they are on the Gitcoin and Algorand Foundation YouTube channels, and I think the slide with the link to the learning resources were actually pinned, Gloria, to the onboarding page, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
It should be up to there, and I can share it with this link. I can share the YouTube link here in a second.
Well, maybe share the presentation from yesterday. Do you have that handy?
I don't have the presentation. If you have the presentation, okay, you can drop it into the chat.
Yeah. Okay. It's not as fancy as this presentation. It's a little more. Okay, I have it here. So just another question that's there while I'm grabbing this. What's the max team size? I don't know if are we kind of thinking 5? Is there an absolute max?
I've never had an absolute max, so it's up to y'all if you all have one.
Yeah, look, whatever you guys think. Maybe, yeah, I'm not going to say a number. We don't kind of huge teams, and again, maybe from some of the more difficult hacks, it's it might be necessary if you guys are really pushing to try and get projects completed and submissions operational for the submission date. So yeah, look, we'll leave that to you guys.
I think there is like on our submission form for the team working form on Gitcoin, you might only be able to put in 5 names, I think, but it's up to you if you have more than that to really divvy up the bounty accordingly.
Yeah, that's the other side of it, isn't it? Okay, there's a link to the learning resources deck from yesterday, and within that there's a couple of slides that point you to, for example, our Algorand Academy, our dev portal. We've got some courses in PyTeal and on Reach, the Discord link and a QR code to get to Discord, our Twitter handles, etc. It's all in there, so go take a look.
And I'm just dropping the, you just dropped the deck, and I just dropped the YouTube link as well in the chat as well too.
Yeah, and also to just a little bit more, the workshops are going to be important in this, and the hackathon. They're going to share the resources. You're going to have one-on-ones with the programmers and developers that actually have worked with bounties before, and with ecosystem leads, so they can show you, like, if you have questions or there's something you don't understand. Workshops are a great place to go and try to figure it out, and also to learn. Like, you get a lot of resources out from
point. So as you can see here in our schedule of events, with the hack itself kicking off on the 18th, this is our bounty preview and matchmaking. Tomorrow, the 15th, we have one of our DevRels, Joe, who's going to be talking to you guys about the Algorand architecture, how it works, and how to build on it. That's using PyTeal. It's a little more in depth. It's a little more technical for those of you who are looking for that kind of stuff. But there's definitely something there for everybody. And then on the 16th of July, then, which is our last session or workshop in the pre-programming schedule, Nick from Reach is going to be doing a 90-minute session on the architecture of Reach, and they're going to use an example that they have on auction, and that's really interesting. It's very intuitive, very progressive. It shows how to build on the Algorand blockchain using Reach, and I suppose they'd be good sessions to compare and contrast the use of different languages, and to see which language you prefer writing in, etc. And then, as Juan was saying, the DevRel support is available throughout the hackathon. So every Wednesday from, I guess, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our DevRels will be available. There's a Calendly link that we are pushing out. It's on the onboarding page, that is available to you guys to book in a slot for some one-on-one DevRel support throughout the hackathon itself. All right. No, I skipped over. No, I didn't. Questions? We've kind of gone through them, I think, as we go. If you have any more, keep feeding them in. Gloria, was there any from YouTube or anything as we've been going there that we missed?
Let me check the YouTube one more time, but I did not see one there. Yeah, no, it looks like we're...
In any case, if you have questions that come off later after we finish this, just shoot them at the Discord. Pretty sure someone's going to answer it for you.
For sure. All right. So the link to this deck will be made available now that we've gone through it. We'll push that out on Twitter. We will push it out on Discord. It will be under the YouTube video on both, as I said, Gitcoins and Algorand Foundation's YouTube channels. And then, of course, there's the call to action and where you can actually register and get involved. So I think that's nearly it. Did I skip one? No. You guys got anything to add? We really can't wait to see what you build. I know we're putting it here, but we thought of that. We really mean it. We're super excited to see what you guys come up with and how you tackle these challenges. So thank you all very much for watching.
Yes, thank you for your time, guys. So nice being able to see this kicking off now.
Yeah, this is exciting time. So I will see you all tomorrow and on Saturday for the DevRel sessions and the intro to Reach. But if you have any other questions until then, please feel free to reach out. My DMs are always open for y'all if you have any questions. And yeah, happy hacking.
Yeah, so same time tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's slightly later at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great week.
Thanks, Juan.
Bye, guys.
Bye.